We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2110. Today, Jill and I are talking about the importance of consistency in sending mailers. So this show, all week, we're actually, not just this show, but all week, we're talking about 5 real live ways to run your land business. It's stuff that is kind of running in the background for Jill and I and has been for a very, very, very long time. This show specifically is a continuance of what we talked about yesterday. So if you haven't listened to yesterday's show, show number 2009, I guess, where we talked about, setting realistic goals. This is consistency in mailing is one of the number one consistent goals that I think you should be setting.
Mm-hmm. The people won't call if they don't get your letter. They don't call and they don't want to sell if they don't know that you want to buy.
Look, I love this business model. It's one of the reasons that I chose to spend my entire professional life on it, because once that mail is in, once those offers are in the mail, that's it. You have control over how many customers you have. Think about that. You do not have a lot of, or as much control. If you own a couple of convenience stores, I hope they walk through the door today. That's what you would be saying. Yeah. That's just not the case here.
I think there's still an underlying theme that we get to collect all the beautiful land we want. Because that happens.
What do you mean?
Like you said that this is the reason I started this, I want to be in this business, kind of thing. I'm like,
oh yeah, you're right.
I do agree with that. I totally agree with that.
I love land.
I love land too. I know. It's so funny. We're like, now as we're getting, I used to be in a phase of sell it all, and now I'm like, we're we can wind things down. We can be real strategic about what we're doing. We've pretty much hit our financial goals that I can go, I want to keep this one. I might use it someday. So it's funny. All right.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum and take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request.
Okay. So Chris and Bay, longtime members, gosh, nine going on 10 year members with us.
First 20 members, I bet.
Way back when. Okay, Chris and Bay wrote, with the start of the new year, I just want to suggest that if you don't already have a mailer schedule, create one and start using it. Set your goal for the month and keep track of how many units you are sending. Consistency and staying organized are essential. Some things I include in our schedule are the state, county, acreage range, letter date, expiration date, and units mailed. I also track the info about the submission to offers to owners, such as order number, the status, whether it's submitted, sent to mail, mailed, and the date I received my test letter, so I can calculate the days from mailed status to in home. For the info about the data export I use for the mailer, I include the date the list was pulled from data trees so I can easily reference the data freshness.
Good.
I note that if the list for the mailer is new or reused. If it's a new list, I indicate the number of units I exported from data tree. This is also a good way to keep track and make sure I remember to utilize my 1,000 free records a month that are free to LA members. Keep it simple and use an Excel or Google spreadsheet. Chris, that's such good advice, Chris.
So Chris has put this in here, and there's no question here. And quite frankly, it's a mic drop paragraph here. He was responding to a lot of people who are saying, does anybody have a schedule? Do you have a mailer schedule? So I think this is his answer and solution, and it's proven. They've done this, for at least 10 years, maybe before they started with us. I don't know. I know they're crazy successful. You have to have a mailer schedule, which is what we're going to talk about here in a minute.
And it's great you need to keep track of that, which is true. Did I mail that? When did I mail that? How many units? How did that one go? Kind of thing to refer back to.
There's a bigger point here, reading through the lines here. What he has taken control of how much money he's making. He's completely tamed it with the whip. This is what's going to happen, and this is how it's going to go. I'm going to send out this much mail. I'm going to do a couple deals. If I send out this much mail, maybe 3 or 4, and on and on and on. So you have control over how much money you make in this business model. Today's topic, the importance of consistency in sending mailers. Seems like Jill's got a lot to say about this one too.
Well, I was just thinking about this. Came up on earlier this month. It's all fresh in my mind right now. About my landlady's call, because we were just, we did so much talking and prepping about 2025. And one person said, hey, I'm 4 years into this. Is anybody noticing changes? To which it was we had a variety of topics. So my first topic was, I have had to work a little harder in some situations. I said, you're not nuts. That what might have taken one phone call and we have a deal, maybe takes 3. Maybe it's a little bit longer. Maybe they have to get to know me a little bit more. I don't know. But I have noticed a little bit of that. Maybe it's because, they know more about what's going on nowadays. Now they have access. It's interesting. Even sellers now can go in and have an idea, maybe from the internet, a little more idea about what's going on in their neighborhood, and maybe they're a little more savvy looking at it. I don't know. Could even just be the areas that we're hitting. But what was great about it was one of the people said, look, I'm 4 years into this too. And I'm getting nothing but signed purchase agreements back because of one simple change. We got consistent.
Yep.
They were not consistent before.
Absolutely.
And she said, we hold our feet to the fire, and we have at least 6,000 to 10,000 units going out every month. And I have no trouble with deal flow because of that one thing.
If you have 6,000 to 10,000 units going out a month, you're going to do some deals. You don't have a choice.
You don't. She says, we were never this consistent, and now we are. And she started it like last spring or last summer that they got serious. And here they are.
You would not ever consider not taking your kids to school one week. Oh, you don't have to go to school this week. You would never consider that. There's in most places, there's laws against it.
Right.
So you should treat doing mailers with that level of commitment and consistency.
Well, it really does tie into, then it starts the whole process. Number one, you're not going to buy anything if you're not reaching out to buy anything. Hello. And then that falls into, now, by the way, just because you get the mail out, you need to respond. You do need to answer the phone, and you need to be on it and do it quickly and aggressively and lock up those deals. But the main thing is really consistency. It's just everything.
I keep banging on the convenience store model. If you chose to, if you closed for a week, 1 week every month you just closed, the door was locked, and then you're going to wonder why you're not making any money, or you're wondering why you're making 75% of what you used to make. Well, that's a real clear answer, but for some reason that doesn't translate to mailers.
That's actually a good analogy, because I can think of, there actually is a bakery that I love in a sweet little town that I love, and they open and close whenever they feel like it. So you know what? I stopped going because I can't count on it. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
You stopped going? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I stopped going because I can't count on them, and they don't even update their website. And you know what? And I don't care about that. You need to be open. Even if I know you're only open 4 days a week, Thursday through Sunday or something, I don't care. Make it consistent, and I'll plan around it. But because I show up sometimes, there's a sign like, "Oh, we took a week off. It's the holidays or spring cleaning," or who knows what they're doing. Like, they're obviously making enough money they can afford to do that, but they kind of lost me because I can't count on them.
Yeah, but Jack, it's expensive to send mail out.
No, it's not.
I know it is.
Wait.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't mean expensive. It costs money to send mail out.
So what? You're making money.
It costs money.
Yeah. It costs money to buy inventory, to sell things. It costs, for that bakery.
You're a business owner.
Uh-huh.
This is an expense.
There are expenses. We haven't talked about that in a long time, but I love when you think about how much it takes to start any business. You have office, like anything you have retail related, you have space. Holy moly, how much you got to outlay for your lease and your utilities you're spending and your inventory and all that stuff before you make $1.
You have a couple of choices here. You're going to spend time to learn how we do this after decades and decades of making little errors all along the way. You're going to spend time, make a commitment, and learn how to do this correctly. And we're telling you right now, consistency in mail is a huge point.
Right.
Or you're going to hear those words and you're going to try to figure out how to do it a different way, cheaper. And please call me when you figure that out, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new members that we have, and all their questions to us are, I'm going to text instead of send mail. And the real reason behind that is because it doesn't cost way less money, if any. And it will not work on its own.
We're all not we all are. I don't do this and you don't do this, but a lot of people look for an easy button. Yeah. And if there's an easy button, by the way, then everybody's going to do it and everybody's doing it. But I like that there's not an easy button. There are moving parts to this, and that's what makes it great. Yep. And that's how we get these amazing deals.
Join us tomorrow, Wednesday, where we discuss the hidden value of neighbor letters in land investing. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill, information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.